Hello everyone, this is Debbie from Ink and Page, and I am here today with our Wraithwood album, and this is our last chapter. So this is going to be decorating the front and doing some little tune-ups on the inside. I'm going to go over, I'm going to show you what we're going to do today ahead of time so that you guys can have a good idea going into it. If you are new to this project and you would like to get involved, you can sign up in the description below and I will email all the printables to you and you can get started. You'll just have to hop back a couple videos. So today we are going to be decorating the front of our journal, or photo album actually, our junk journal photo album. This is my finished product. I just wanted you guys to see it ahead of time so you would know what we were going to be doing. I used printables from that album I'm about to show you. You'll see the whole, everything that we have in the kit, but I wanted to go over the projects in the kit first. So we'll be doing the cover here. We're going to be creating some hidden ancestors in these little areas here. And we'll be doing some decorating on the inside of this book as well, like right here with our little belly band with this bird. And there is another hidden ancestor here. So let's get started. All right, let's go through the printables here. What I've done for this week is, if you recall, we created this, which is the cover. I think mine's upside down here. The cover like kind of piece for our book. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to fill this up. Now there's you have a bunch of different options on how to do this. Okay, and you don't even need to use this if you don't want to. If you want to decorate your cover in another way, go for it. Now what I've done is I've created 4 different choices of background images to go in the back of this piece right here. Okay, now so for that, you can pick one of these and then you can fit it into the background here. And then I've created additional fussy cuts, flowers mostly, some graves, and I have this wild sheet of of fussy cuts that you may or may not be horrified by. But basically, for this page here, these are flowers, they are leaves, and there are spiders on here. Now, I recognize the difficulty of cutting all of these little pieces out. So, if you have a punch, or if you... Oh, I'm going to show you one other way to do it, too, when we get into it. If you have a punch, or a flower punch, a leaf punch, a round punch, anything like that, you don't need to cut or print this page out at all unless you totally want the spiders and you want to cut these out. I know some of you guys are wizards with fussy cutting. I am no wizard. So, so I did use my scan and cut to cut this out, but I think the easiest route is the punch. Even the scan and cut takes forever to do this. So what I did is I have this page here, which is to punch flowers out of, which is basically what I used here. And then I have a green page as well for you to punch the leaves out of, okay? And if you don't have a flower punch and you are not interested in cutting these out, I'll show you one other little trick that we can do to get flowers when we do the flower portion of this whole situation. Okay, so you'll also notice that there are frames on here. Okay, the reason there are frames on here is because I wanted to give you multiple options on what you could do for the front piece of your little window thing here. So my plan is to use the background image here and then go ahead and fill this up with flowers and use the fussy cuts that are included in here of the gravestones and create kind of like a little mausoleum situation on the front of mine. Now, I realize that, that's a little dark. Maybe some people might not want to do that. So I made all these little frames because I thought if you wanted to, you could also put an image in the background, or no image, or a piece of a background paper that you liked, and then you could collage these frames on here, because there were a lot of images of choose from for the ancestors to include in your family album here. So you could take one of these, which, you know, you could pick whichever one you like, or you could take one of these, you know, image ones if you prefer that. Pick a frame, you know, put that on there, and then you could have like a layered frame situation of different photos on here. I tried to make these all different sizes so that you could fit at least 2 on the front here, maybe 3 if you're clever. So that's just another option for the cover. I'm not going to be doing that option, but you definitely do have that option. Okay. And then, okay. So, and then for there's one other thing on here. On this one here, these 3 rectangles we'll be using to create the hidden ancestors. It's going to be a really simple process. So that's what those are for. All right. So let's hop right into creating. Okay, so this is the cover that I made the first day when we created our albums. Okay, here's my album. It's right here. To it. Okay. I already have tools everywhere. Okay. All right, so for this one, this is the first one I'm going to use. I think it's either that one or this. If I use this one, I think I could definitely do two. I just thought if that one's too big. So, okay, so maybe we'll do, I'm going to put this one on first. And then what I'll do is I'll just put like a couple of these around on this, because these are like really tiny ones. Like if I had, I could also just put one, you know, down the back of it, but these are tiny. So I'm going to put a couple of them on, and their stick is sometimes suspicious. So sometimes I have to add a little extra glue, just to get them on there. Okay, and this is just going to let me tuck some stuff behind it. I also did do some die cuts, extra die cuts from, I did use some last week on my, you know, my decorating here like this. So I cut some out of the background papers that are included in this week's kit, just to have a little extra something to put on the front that I didn't have to actually cut out, you know. It's a little bit easier when it's the die cut machine's job to do the cutting. Plus you get like a consistent, cool result with that. It's just, it's nice to have those extra leaves, you know, because it's hard for me to make those printable in a way that looks good. Okay, so let's see here. So I can put this one, I put this here. Or here. Let's go here. Okay, I am going to use, for this project, I'm going to use a couple of things that are extra. One of them is, I'm going to use the moss. Those are my flowers. We're going to do those later. Okay, so I'm going to use some moss. I have some mummy cloth, which I dyed last week for the project. And then I have all the die cuts that I did. Here we go. I cut a lot out only because, like, this is way more than I would need for 7 projects, right? But I just, like, when you're cutting, when you're doing something like this, just do a bunch. You know what I mean? I cut, this is like one full 8.5 by 11 page that I cut out of these, and then I cut out a half page in the green. This is, oh my gosh, this is the green background paper for this week, die cut with this here. This die is just a random die that I happen to have in my collection. I think it's from Doris, and it's just like a bunch of leaves. That's the only thing that's in there. If I can find it, I will link it in the description below. I know it is old, and I know I probably got it, you know, ages ago. Okay, but this one is cut out of the pink background paper from this week. So, and then this is just cut out of plain black paper that I had. So I have those to decorate around here too. I definitely want to put the moss in on the bottom here. What I would like to do is use the foam squares. Oh, whoops, that's the wrong side. I want to put them on the other side. I want to use these foam squares here to push this up off of this. So we have like a bunch of different layers, because that's what's going to make, you know, it like really pop out and look good. So I'm just going to go along this side with these little things. These are ridiculously tiny. Okay, so I got these here. I'm going to take this off, and I'm just going to have this go off of the other tombstone. I hope that makes sense. So basically, I'm just going to take you through how I'm going to decorate this. Obviously, everybody's going to do it a different way. Okay, that one, oh my goodness. That one's already off, so no wonder I couldn't get it off. There we go. All right, And so then I'll have this one here. Okay. And then what I can do is just decorate around this. So I'm going to start out with the moss at the bottom, and then I want to do like flowers and stuff on the top. So I'll do the moss here really quick, and then I'm going to do the flowers at the top. So we'll go through making the flowers at that, like in just a second here with that. So I'm just going to put in some glue in here just so I can get this in here. If you guys watched the bookcase video, you know, like the glory of the moss. So it just like, I don't know, it just levels it up. I also like that this is artificial. So it's not real, but I like how it looks really good and it feels real, but it is not. But I'm going to put glue behind the chum here too, so we can just stick some back there. It's just like, I love how it gives like an extra organic feel to this that it doesn't have without it. You know what I mean? Because I'm going to mix this with paper embellishments, paper flowers, but I think it's the mix of the different types of materials and textures that really makes like things like this work, you know, because like you would think, well, if you're mixing it with like, you know, flat paper embellishments, it's not going to be as good, but somehow it still looks okay. Plus it's super fun, you know. And that's the whole point of this whole thing, right? Okay, so that's my moss on there. So we're going to leave that aside for a second. I already have some of this done, so you guys can kind of see the whole process here. This time what I did was I have the little flowers, and then what I did is I put a little rhinestone in the middle of these. I kind of wanted to have a little sparkle on this project, so I'm hoping that that will do it. I'm going to show you how to make the flowers too, really quickly. And it's pretty simple. This is just a piece of foam. It's bigger than my sponge that I have used in the past. So it helps. It's just a little bit bigger and it's better for the video because it's dark like this. So, all right. So yeah, so you could use a sponge, you could use a mouse pad, you can use a piece of foam. This is firm foam. Anything like that would work. Anything with like a rounded end on it. So you could use a paintbrush. If you have a pen with a rounded end, it just needs to be smooth and round like this. Okay. And then all you're going to do is just kind of press down and make a little circle. Okay. You can do each petal individually if you want to. Okay. But you don't have to. You can do them like this if you want. But I find that if you just go like this, it really does the job. And then if you wanted to, you could stack these, like you could put multiples together if you wanted to have like, you know, like a multiple layered flower. I really love the simplicity of the one. So yeah, so that's how you do that. So it's really simple to do this. You just take this like this. The shaping, I really think it makes a huge difference. It makes it, you know, 3D like the moss basically, and it just gives you that extra little bit, you know. If it's gonna be like inside the book, you probably want to leave them flat, you know. But okay, so now for the leaves, all you do is just follow the little curve, and you can do them both ways. So I printed gray on the back of my leaves, just to see, you know, I just wanted to have a contrast, and I just thought it would be nice. So I did the leaves both ways as well. And now I'm going to show you really quickly, like if you don't have a flower punch and you have no desire to cut out a billion tiny flowers, you can get your background paper and a round punch and make a flower with those. Okay, so here I have the background page that's pink. Okay, I'm going to do this one just so that it's really clear what I'm demonstrating, and then this would not probably work for this project because it's really big, and like the scale of the flower to the project would be off unless you want to do something really huge and make like a statement piece. Because I'm not going to say that, I mean, it could work. Okay, so now with these ones, because it's bigger, you can get one more fold in. So you can fold it 3 times and get more petals. Okay, so now I folded that one 3 times. The little ones, it was really a nightmare to fold those 3 times. All right, so we're just gonna round these corners here. And then you're just going to unfold it, and you're just going to get a flower like that. I actually haven't tried shaping these. My little shaper ball is not too big, but we could try. We could just try it like this. Because if you just draw it in from each petal, this especially, I'm using paper here, not cardstock, so that's why it's a little shabbier. It won't be quite as shabby if you use cardstock. It would benefit me to have like a bigger, like a little shaper ball for this, but you could still do it. So you still can get a flower, you get a flower like that too. And this one has 4 like double petals on it instead of just the 4 petals that these have. So, okay. So that's flowers in a nutshell. And then of course you could also use artificial flowers like these, which are the Tim Holtz ones. These are tea dyed. They also have these, like, you can get 1 million of these ones on Amazon that look like this. I use these for my like prototype because, you know, I always do like a prototype, and I use those for my prototype, and they worked out really, really well. Here, I'll show them to you really quick. This is my prototype for my, you know, it doesn't have the graves or anything in it yet, but I just wanted to do like a test, and I used a bunch of different kinds of things. So these are the artificial silk flowers. These are artificial paper flowers. And I just happen to have both of these in my stash, so I thought I would give them a shot. I think that these like artificial silk ones worked out the best. These are very, very thick paper, so they didn't bend very well. They didn't work as well, but that's just, you know, my 2 cents. I'm going to use the ones that I made for my today. And what I did is I got some of these little rhinestones, which I'm going to take off of this here. And they're pretty tiny. They're just rhinestones that I got off of Amazon, and I just put them in the middle. So all I needed to do for that was, I'm going to move my scissors so I don't stab myself. Okay, so they come with this little wax pencil, which is handy. So all you need to do for that here is just put like a little dot of glue in the center, and then you just grab the little rhinestone and just stick that down there in the middle. I'm just going to use, I put way too much glue on here. We'll try the glue again because I put so much glue on there. Oops. I don't want to do that again. Okay, there we go. You need the smallest amount of glue that you've ever seen for this. And then you just pick these up with the pencil, and then you just stick these down. Just like that. And then boom, you've got a flower. I got a little carried away making these earlier. I was just listening to a book, and just, you know, it's very relaxing, you know, to do stuff like this. Okay, and there's that one. I'm going to do one more because I have one more rhinestone here. And I have all different size rhinestones. So some of these are bigger than others, but I thought about like doing like putting like 3 tiny ones in there, but I wasn't sure if I had enough space for that. Oh my gosh, that's way too much glue. It wasn't coming out, and then it comes out like gangbusters. Okay, so I got that glue. Now we can just put, and of course it's like the tiniest rhinestone ever. That one in there. Okay, I wanted to have a little sparkle on this project. I don't know why. I'm into sparkle lately. It's probably because, you know, the holidays are coming and you just see more sparkly things out there. Okay, so, all right, so I'm going to put my pencil away here. All right, and we'll put my flowers to the side here just so I can get them when I need them. And then the other thing that I'm going to use on here is some mummy cloth, some thread, some stuff like that, just to give me some, you know, some additional texture on here and just contrast between all the different things. So this is mummy cloth that is dyed with decayed mica spray that I made for last week, and I still have I tried to dye a bunch of it because you know, the whole dye process can be a little bit messy. So I figured, why not just do, you know, a bunch of it all at once. And then, all right, so I'm going to go here with my thread. And then I'm just going to use all the different things that I have here to kind of build it up and create a little spot for my flowers. So I'm going to use that as my base layer, and then I'm going to grab some of these die cut flowers that I made, and I'm going to use different types of them. Like there's a couple different styles of the flowers that I cut. I also printed on both sides of the paper that I die cut so that I could have like multiple color options. I did use like the gray one on the back, but see, this came out cool because this is like black on one side, pink on the other. So that really like gives me and you can adjust the size of these too, so that by just ripping them, so you're not using like the same thing over and over, you know, because you want things to be all different layers, all different colors, and that gives you like the nice texture on your projects. And then some of these I dyed like with mica spray or distress spray, just to get a little bit more of a random color on it. Those are the ones I cut out of white paper. Like if you cut it out of the like design paper, like the marbled paper or whatever, you automatically get a like a differentiated surface. See, like that, so you don't have to worry about like spraying it or putting anything on it. You can just pop it right on the thing, and you know, that's done. So it takes away that step of having to like either spray it or spatter it, just to make it look a little bit more like, I don't want to say realistic because that's probably not the right word, but to make it look less flat, because when it's all one color, it kind of looks a little bit flat. Okay, so where is my, oh, I have my thread over here. Okay, I have green and black to use on this. I do have some purple, but I don't think I'm going to use it on this one. I just want to like mix in all different types of things just to give this like a kind of a messy variety look, you know. Let's go in here. I'm gonna grab this here just to help me push this in behind here. And I'm going to get a little bit of moss, and then you just keep going until you like it. And you could use a combo of flowers too. So like if you want to make like 3 or 4 flowers and then just use like purchased flowers, or the there's like flower fussy cuts in the kit as well. Just kind of put a little bit more moss over here on the top just to balance that out. I know I'm going to end up with kind of a crazy cover for my album, but you know. Okay, so this is the other thing I wanted to do, was kind of get some of these behind the gravestones. I'm going to take this here. Because, you know, it gives it that, like, oh, it's overgrown, you know, kind of look. Let's see where I can get that. Stick this one behind there. I'm just going to stick a little glue on the back of it and then just kind of put it down there. Hopefully, I think I might need to use... Hot glue strings are my enemy. Okay, I'm just going to put that down there. Let's see here. How big should this be? So just kind of got to mess around. Sometimes I just have to think about it, you know. Just want to get that down there. Okay, where's my green? Okay, I want to add some green in here as well. I've got a lot of different shades of green on this one because I've got thread and paper and oops, all kinds of stuff here. And then we can add some flowers down here as well. And I did want to put some flowers here by the gravestone here. So it's a good thing I made a bunch. Okay, I am going to do more of this. I love this color for some reason. it feels like it shouldn't match, but it does look okay, so that's good. So we'll put some of this in here too. The red is such a great like option for crafting with, because you can use it in so many different ways. All right, let's put some like flowers down there as well. So we can kind of glue these guys together before I put it down there. I'm worried I made them too tall. Let me add in some more flowers. You know what I could do too is I didn't add in any of my leaves, because that gives me another just another little element to put in here. Oops. I'm going to cut that. Oh, I totally want this to look like an overgrown situation, so I think I'm heading in the right direction here. I think I'll put another flower up here at the top as well. And some more of this here down at the bottom. I won't do this forever. Like, I could be at this for hours, but I know this is supposed to be our wrap-up video, so I'm going to try to put, I'm not really great at putting the chapters in the bottom, but I will try to do that for this video because, you know, I'm spending quite a bit of time on this here, but you know, this is the thing that I think I've been looking forward to the most, although I did really love doing the frames. With the mica and all that. So I think I want to put some more greenery in here, or pinkery, I guess, because this one's pink. Okay, let's put some let's see here. Should we put it on the front of that? And we could put it there. Okay, I think I'll make it just a tad bit shorter. And then put this in here. Okay, I would like something kind of pink over here. Okay, let's do that. I need that to go further down there. Go. Okay, so let's see here. I'm gonna try, I don't know if this is gonna work or not. but we'll go for it and see what happens. I could do... I do want to put something right here. Probably not like, I don't want to go like crazy overboard though, because I already went crazy overboard on the other side. So I want this to be more chill over here. I'm just going to add a little bit more over here, and that just is going to complete the... Okay, we just need a little bit more glue right here. Okay, let's see here. All right, now we're gonna see if we need, oh my gosh, me and the glue strings. I kind of like the idea of that. Let's put that in there. I'm gonna add a couple more. I think I'm almost done here, so, or at least for right now, I'm done. All right, let's do that. This is going to be a crazy cover, but here we go. I'm going to enjoy it, so I think that's the important part. The funny thing is like usually after it's like when I see this on the video is when I know like, okay, did I do too much? But according to Tim Holtz, like you'll know. I mean, you'll just feel it. So I just wait till I feel it. Okay, there's my overgrown graveyard. Okay, so now that we've done this part here, we are going to put this aside for just a second and then do a couple quick things in the book, and then I will attach this to the front and add my rhinestone to the cross for the last bit of this. Okay, so here in this book, I have this very naked belly band. So what I wanted to do was add some stuff to that. And also, like, I have all the fussy cuts from last week too, and I had specifically thought about adding a couple of these to this. There's this one with the bird too. Just to this belly band, just to give it a little bit more love and like not have it be quite so boring. I'm gonna grab a couple of these here. Some of these are the ones that I put mica spray on, and some of them are just like normal. Okay, let's see here. I gotta ink the edge of this really quickly, and then this is kind of a contrasting situation here, but I'm gonna use it anyway. Because this is very light and my page is very dark, but that'll let it stand out a little bit more, and then I'll just work it in with putting the dark ink around the edges here, and then I'll also add in some of these kind of darker pieces of, I was gonna say greenery, but it's not really greenery, but on here as well. So we can just kind of get a little bit of a contrast for it. Okay, let's see what we got here. Here's the black one. I really want some black ones for this, although I need to make sure I'm not making it too wide. Okay, let's see what we got here. So maybe something like that for the back of this. And we can also add some other stuff to give it just a little bit more definition. Just a little bit of glue there. I need a little bit of extra on this one. Okay, now I have this green. Oh yeah, this is gonna look, I think this is gonna look pretty. I wasn't 100% sure because I thought, oh, this is, the colors might be off, but it looks good. Okay, so this is just decorating a belly band, which is just like a little extra thing that I'm doing here, like, just because like this is like kind of finishing touches, you know, and so it's kind of like the last few things that, you know, I want to add to this before it's done. Okay, so let's try. I think these ones that have the, what do you call it, mica spray on it really look nice on this. Okay, thinking decayed here. I'm just gonna give that a little trim here. I'm just going to split this up and put some of it on back here. And a little bit over here, I think. Maybe over here. Yeah, okay, we got it. The unfortunate thing is this is not going to have a back on it, except for the belly band, which is fortunately pretty wide. So that's going to help me out. What I could do actually is just grab this paper here that I had before, which I somehow got wet, which is like a hazard in my craft room. Okay, it's because I have a tendency to like toss the baby wipes, you know. Okay, so I'm gonna look here. So all I'm going to do is just trim off the bottom of this circle. And then I can put this on the back of it, kind of like, just like a little, what do you call it, insurance policy on the back. Because this is just, it's just paper. It's not even cardstock. But it'll just seal it in, you know. I'm going to try glue sticking that. Because it's already pretty wet on the back with glue. So this will just be the insurance policy to hold all my bits and pieces in there. These bumpy ones are kind of a stinkers to ink. Okay. All right, awesome. Now I can just stick this right on here. I think that looks kind of cool. All right, there we go. I'm gonna take those out of there just while I make sure that I don't get any glue on the back of this. I'm just gonna stick my bone folder in there to kind of make sure that the glue is not getting on the actual. Well, looks like it's pretty good. Okay, there we go. There is still a little bit of work to be done in here. I have a couple of portraits that are not decorated yet. But I think overall it's in good shape. All right. So I have that there. It's just making me nervous. Okay. Okay, now let's talk about making some hidden ancestors really quickly. I think I can use this for ephemera too in here, which I think will be kind of fun because I have my spider web page here. Kind of cute. Okay, so let's talk about making some hidden ancestors really quickly. And then I might add a few more things, but okay, so I have these 3 little bars here, and these fit inside of the pockets, not for the frames, but there's like the pages were bent over in the beginning, if you recall, and there's a pocket in here between all of the pages if you didn't glue yours completely shut. I did not glue mine completely shut because I wanted to have the option to put something in here, okay? And some of mine are glued through and some of them aren't. So, I mean, I'm not sure, like, so depending on what you did or didn't do here. Like this one is a pocket. here. So basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to fold it in half like this. And then I have portraits that I already pre-picked out. And what I did here was I put microglaze on mine already just to seal them. And I inked around the edges. And what I'm going to do is glue these guys. Oops, that's not the one I want. I'm going to put this ghost lady and then this one here back to back. I'm going to glue these together. And I'm going to put them into this here, okay? And then what we're going to do is this is going to slide between the pages, and then we're going to just glue the pages shut here and here so that this pulls up but stops, okay? And then we're also going to put a little tabby on the top of this so that it has like a little handle to pull it on, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go over this whole thing with the glue stick because I want to glue this completely flat together. Okay, and then once they're flat together, I can look at them and I'll ink anything that's sticking out white, and I also can trim as well. Okay, so just make sure you got everything the right way. Putting the glue on both sides like this just gives you maximum like ability to slide things around. It really does make a big difference. Okay, it's not going to match perfectly because, you know, unless you're like really amazing with the paper cutting. Okay, so I just need my folder here. I'm going to go over this. It actually matched up pretty well, considering. It's a little bit off right here. So I'm just going to go down it with the scissors really quick. Okay, and then I'll just ink along that edge. And then I'll do this side too, just to be sure that I'm covering up anything white. And the reason I'm gluing it together on both sides is so that when I pull it out, there'll be a picture on both sides. All right, now that I have that done, I'm going to take this little piece here. And I'm going to put this in here like this, okay? And then we're going to glue this shut as well, okay? Okay, now that we have this glued together, we're going to stick this in here like this, okay? And what we want to do here is create, like, basically have the pocket be glued together right here and here, just so that it creates a stop for this, so that you can't pull it completely out. Unless you want to pull it completely out, and then you can leave it. But I thought it'd be fun to have something that kind of slid in and out here. And what I'm going to do is take, like, some of the ephemera that we have from, I'm trying to think which week it was. It was probably not last week, but the week before. We had, like, these fun little pieces. So I'm going to take, like, 2 of those and create, like, a little tab for myself on the, I'm going to use this one, I think. Oh, yeah, these 2. And I'm going to create like a pull tab on here for myself. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a little bit of glue onto here. Oh, I don't want that to go completely away so I can still get it out. Okay, because this needs to be in there when you cover it. Okay, so don't do it and then because you won't be able to get it back in. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at this from the top. Okay, and I think I'm just going to use, I'm going to decide what the best glue to use is. I think I'm just going to use a little bit of this white, of the PVA glue. Might tip is a little goopy, so I want to clean that off. Okay. You could also use like Fabri-Tac right here for this. I'm going to grab a clip for this side. Okay. And then in here, like you're looking right here, I hope you guys can see that right there. So I'm just going to put a dab of glue right there. Okay. I won't be able to clip that side, unfortunately. I'm just going to press it so the excess comes up. And then I want to just make sure that that can still move. And then once this comes up, it will stop. Okay, so I'm going to put my little tab on while that glue dries. So I have these two pieces right here that I really want to use. So I'm going to ink these. And then I'll just add a little bit of other stuff to this and glue these two together. I just want to make sure I got them the right way. Like this. Okay, just to make sure all the white is covered. Okay, so let me get a little bit of, oh, you know what else? This would be good too to use. I'm going to put a little bit of black thread on there as well, just so it has like a little bit of a frayed look about it. Okay, so these two are going to go together like this. It's possible. Oh, what am I doing? I did not put the thread on. I was like, should I have used not hot glue, the glue stick, but probably not with the thread. I'm just going to add a little bit more on here. Because with the thread, it makes it like, you know, you have to kind of work a little harder to get everything to stick together. Okay, it would have been helpful if I'd actually remembered to do this. Okay, so now this is going to pinch onto here. I have quite a bit going on here. Okay, I'm going to grab a hold-on clip out of here and see if I can get that on there. Okay, I'm giving this a second to dry here, so I'm going to do another one really fast, and then I promise I'll be done. I think I'm going to do this and the moon. Okay, so let's do that one really quickly. I'm just going to glue these two guys together and then put the bottom on them, and we'll pick a different one to do. Okay, so I'm just going to slide these two guys together. I hope my video is not like 2 hours long. Oh my goodness. There's always like so many things you want to do at the end. So I got these two together. That actually went pretty well. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these and fold them in half. And then I'm going to glue it onto the bottom of this here. I really, 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 really want to put like embellishments and stuff on this, but I think it might cause a problem with the pulling it in and out. And I think I'm going to take this one here and use this. I'm going to fold it and use it as the tab. Oops. Fold this in half. I'm going to make sure that it doesn't have any white showing. If ink doesn't work, you can just trim it a little. I think I'm going to need to trim it a little right there. Okay. All right. Now we're going to just glue it onto the top of this one here, just so there's like a little way to pull it out. Okay, let's pick a different page. I'm not sure which one of mine is this one. Okay, I can put it in this one here. Slide that down into there. Like that. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn it up here like this, and I'm just going to dab in the glue here to glue this here. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab a bulldog clip for that. And then I'll dab it in on the other side. And then we'll test out our other one. I'm just pulling that out so I can see exactly where I need to put the glue. You could also, like I said, glue something over the top edge of the page and just incorporate it into your design, like either washi tape or just like a folded piece of cardstock. Okay, there's that one. Here's the other one that we did here. I'll unclip that. And then all we need to do is pull that, and it just stops right there, just like that. What I thought it would be fun, though, is if we added just a little something to this. Like a name, or... Let's see, I'm digging out, like... Or even, like, you know, we have the little... These little guys here. Like I have this one here that says faded away. I think I might use that one on this one. I'm just gonna go ahead and put this on here. Because the back of this one's the ghost, you know? Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I can just put faded away on here. The other thing I was thinking of doing, ooh, I just still have a bunch of good stuff over here. Oh, I also have some clues still. Oh no, what did I get? I got a little piece of paper stuck to that. Oops. Oh, yeah. It looks pretty cool with her. I'm gonna go ahead and put this behind here. I can take out my little scrap in there as well. And I still have, these are the tags that I took out earlier. All right, let's see here. I think we're looking pretty good here. So there's 3 of these total if you want to do 3. It's up to you how many you want to do. If you want to do 1, 2, 0, or 3. I'm just trying to be careful with this because it's still wet, but I want to be able to close my book here. Okay. And that can go down, and then this one can go down. I kind of like that there's a little bit of stuff like sticking out. I kind of crushed this though. All right, let's put a front on. All right, and now I made my book really puffy, but okay. So I can put this on here. It kind of feels like these are like eyes, doesn't it? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. I don't want to use the hot glue for this, so I'm gonna go ahead with this one. There we go. And then we're just gonna put this on here, kind of lining it up as best as you can. It should line up pretty well. That's pretty cool. Let's grab a rhinestone out of here. I don't want to go too big. Let's see what we got here. I've got hot glue on my tweezers. This one's quite big. I don't know if it's going to be too big. It might be okay. I don't think that my tweezers are going to recover from this project. All right, so I'm going to take this off of here. Grab this guy. And then we're going to try to like put a very small dot of glue on here. Grab the rhinestone here. I think that looks pretty much like the middle there. I don't know, now I'm worried that it's too big. I'm gonna try a different size. I know that's crazy. I feel like I only have like that really giant size. Let's try this size. There we go. Now, there we go. There's one on there. Oh, that one has glue on it. I'm not going to put that back in there. Okay. All right. What do you guys think? All right. I'm going to clean this up a little bit, and then I'll come back and do a quick flip through of the finished product. All right. Let's do a quick flip through of our Wraithwood Family Album. We have our flip here, tuck spot here, hidden journal card right here. Close that. Oops, that goes this way. And then we have our hidden ancestor up here. She's still a little wet from being recently glued. Here, these are mica on here. Oh, another hidden ancestor here. That's our faded away. There we go. Oh, our belly band with our pretty bird. Our belly band here too. And our envelope that's here. So, probably need to decorate her a little, huh? But overall, I think pretty cool for our September project. I cannot believe September is over, but it is. So, we'll be starting a new project next week, and I am super looking forward to it. I'm very excited about it. It should be another fun project. This one's going to be modular. I have some fun ideas to share with you guys. So, please like this video if you enjoyed this project, and subscribe if you haven't already and would like to do some more fun projects together. I have some great stuff planned for November and going into the holidays. So hopefully things that will be useful to you guys and be helpful and to be fun to put together as well. So thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will see you again very soon with a new project.